Hello and welcome to the classes by Monisha Nath. Today we are back again with a new topic, that is profit and loss. Now profit and loss is a very important topic, and the biggest part of this topic is that we hear of this every day in our daily lives. We hear people talking, I had a profit of this much, I had a loss of this much. Now what is this profit and what is this loss? Now you see, when people talk about profit, you will see a broad smile on their faces. When they hear, when you see them talking about loss, you will see tears rolling down from their eyes. Now what is this profit and what is this loss? Suppose A is a man and B is another man. Now A buys an article from, say, a man X. So A is buying an article from a man X, and then A is selling it to B. Okay, so A is buying an article from X and A is selling it to B. So the price at which A buys the article from X is the cost price. The price at which A buys the article from X is the cost price. That is the price at which he is buying it. And the price at which he is selling it to B becomes the selling price. So what is cost price and selling price in general? The price at which a particular article or an object is bought is called the cost price or the purchase price. And what is selling price? The price at which an article is sold. Okay. So in short, we can write as CP and SP. Now suppose you buy a pen from a shopkeeper, say for rupees 10. Alright, and then after 2 days you feel the pen is not enough good for you to use, and you decide selling it to your friend or your neighbor, and you decide to sell it for rupees 12. So this is the price at which you had bought the pen, which is the cost price of the pen, and rupees 12 is the price at which you sold it to your friend. That is your selling price. Now what can you see over here? That is, the price at which you bought it was lesser compared to the price at which you had sold it. That is, your CP is lesser than your SP. So when you have a condition when your cost price is lesser than your selling price, you have a profit. Now what is this profit? This profit is nothing but the extra money that you get on selling the pen to your friend. So you had bought it for rupees 10, and while selling it you had gained rupees 2 more. So this profit is that extra money that you income. So your profit is your selling price minus your cost price. So you have a profit when your selling price is more than your cost price. And how do you calculate the profit? It is the selling price minus the cost price. That is the excess amount over the cost price at which you are selling it to your friend. Now if in case your friend is wise enough, to not buy it from you at rupees 12, but to buy it from you at rupees 7, saying you that this is an old pen, you have already used it, you have wasted some of the ink, why should I buy it at rupees 12 for you? I'll buy it at rupees 7. Wise enough. So what you will do? You'll have to sell your friend. Your cost price was rupees 10, and your friend, who is very wise, is buying it from you at rupees 7. So there you have to have a sorrow face, because you have bought it for rupees 10 and you are selling it for rupees 7, means you are selling it at a lesser price. So you can see over here your cost price is more than the selling price. That is, you have a gloomy and a sad face for that. Okay, so you can see this is the condition which gives rise to loss. How much you are losing? You are losing some amount of money, isn't it? You had bought it for rupees 10, and while selling it you are losing some amount of money because you are selling it at a little lesser price. So your loss is your cost price minus the selling price. So here it was rupees 10 minus rupees, it was rupees 12 minus rupees 10, that is rupees 2. Okay, initially I had given you the condition that your SP was rupees 12 and your CP was rupees 10. But now your question, so here you have a profit of rupees 2. But now the case 2 says that your cost price is more than the selling price. So your loss is what? The loss is cost price minus selling price, that is rupees 10 minus rupees 7, that is your rupees 3. So rupees 3 is what? Rupees 3 is the loss that you are facing. That is, you are getting rupees 3 lesser than the amount that you had invested. Here you are getting rupees 2 more than the amount that you had invested, and here you are getting rupees 3 lesser than the amount that you had invested. So two things we have learnt it, that is, if your CP is lesser than your SP, there is a profit. When your selling price is more than the cost price, there is a profit. And how do we calculate the profit? Profit is your selling price minus the cost price. And if in case you see your CP is more than the SP, so there is a loss. And how do you calculate the loss? Loss is your CP minus SP. So I suppose so far the concept between your CP and SP is clear. Now, profit percent. So whenever the word percent comes, it means out of 100. So we always check our loss or profit on our cost price. We see based on the cost price, are we getting more, are we getting less. So whenever we calculate the profit percentage, how do we calculate? We say it is whatever amount you had gained by the amount that you had invested or you had used for purchasing the object into 100. This much percentage. This is your profit percent. So what is profit percent? That is, profit percent is profit by CP into 100. Means, suppose in one of the previous sum you saw rupees 2 you had gained. We can also use the word gain in place of profit. Both mean the same. So if you see that you have gained rupees 2, that means rupees 2 you had gained on rupees 10. So that means 2 out of 10, because 10 rupees was your cost price. So out of rupees 10, if 2 rupees you have gained, so out of rupees 100, how much you are going to gain? So that is your 20%. So your profit is 20%. So what is the formula for profit percent? It is profit by CP into 100 and then the percentage. So loss percentage also, the same story goes on over here. That is, whenever you have loss, you calculate even that upon your cost price. Okay. So here you will simply replace the profit by the loss. So it is loss by CP into 100%. So in one of the second example which we saw, we had a loss of rupees 3. So what is the loss percentage? Rupees 3 by rupees 10 was your cost price into 100. That is 30% loss. So whenever you see you have a loss, so loss by CP into 100%, that is your 30%, which was the example which we had used for showing the loss. And here we saw profit, it is profit by CP into 100. So 2 rupees was the profit in the first example. So 2 by 100, 2 by 10 into 100%. So these are the formulas we will first use to see profit, loss, profit percentage and loss percentage. So very important, first you know these formulas. Alright. Now, okay. Now if you have that there is a profit of R percentage and the CP is given to you. It is told that in a transaction there is a profit of R percentage and the CP is given to you. So how do you calculate the SP from there? How do you calculate the SP from there? So we have just seen that SP minus CP means your profit. SP minus CP is your profit. Alright. So what is your SP? SP will be CP plus profit. SP is CP plus profit. So here in this case I will use this formula. Now profit percentage is given to us. So this one means out of 100 R is the profit that you have. So out of the given CP, what will be your profit? So this is CP plus R percentage of CP, that is CP plus R percentage means R by 100 into CP. So if I take CP common, so 1 plus R by 100 into CP is the SP. So when you have a profit of R percentage, your SP is equal to 1 plus R by 100 of your CP. This is the formula of finding selling price when there is a profit percentage given to you and the cost price is given to you. Similarly, if you have a loss of R percentage and your CP is given, what is to be done? Now we just now checked out over here, CP minus SP is equal to loss. So CP minus loss is equal to your SP. Okay, the cost price minus the loss is your selling price. So SP will be CP minus loss. So CP minus R percentage of CP. Okay, so CP minus R by 100 into CP, that is equal to 1 minus R by 100 into CP. So therefore what is the formula that we see over here? SP is equal to 1 minus R by 100 of the cost price. So if I have a loss of R percentage and the CP is given to us, means the cost price is given to us, then your selling price will be 1 minus R by 100 of the cost price. So just a small way to remember, profit, whenever there is a profit there is a plus sign, and whenever there is a loss there is a minus sign. Just remember this way, then it will be easier for you to remember the formula. So whenever there is a profit given, so it is 1 plus R by 100 of the cost price, profit percentage present, and a loss of R percentage, whenever it is the loss is given in the form of a percentage, then it is always 1 minus R by 100 of the cost price. So the two, we had learnt already 4 formulas, 2 more over here, that is SP is equal to 1 plus R by 100 of CP, and SP when there is a loss of R percentage, 1 minus R by 100 of CP, plus in case of profit percentage, and for case of loss percentage it is minus. So we have learnt already 4 formulae. Remember, whenever you have to calculate the profit and loss of a certain number of articles, make sure you know the CP as well as the SP of the same number of articles. Say if you know the CP of 4 articles and SP of 7 articles, then using this data, the profit or loss of how many articles can you find out? It becomes difficult. Are you going to find out the profit or loss that you had for 4 articles, or profit and loss you had for 7 articles. So always remember, in order to find the profit and loss, you must have the same number of articles, say n. If you have the CP of n articles, you must have the SP also of n articles. Then only you can find out either the loss or the profit of n articles. Suppose you are given the CP of 4 articles and SP of 6 articles. Okay, in order to find the profit and loss of 4 articles, what you will do? You know the CP of 4 articles. You can use your unitary method and find the SP of 4 articles. And then you can find out either the profit or the loss of 4 articles. Alright, Now, often you have seen a situation, suppose you go to a market to buy something. Say you bought a particular furniture and you are wanting to bring it home. Say you bought an article for rupees or a furniture for rupees 70,000. Alright, now you have to bring it home. So for bringing it home, so this was your purchase price. At this price you had purchased the item. Now when you are bringing it home, there is a transportation charge. There is a labor charge or whatever it is. So this charges, say you had a transportation charge of rupees 1000. Okay, now this was the investment which you had made in purchasing the article. Also, these are the investments which you are making on this article as well. This is also your investment on this article. So this purchase price, that is the original cost price or original cost price plus these charges which are additional charges on the purchase price, that is your transportation, repairal works, painting, coloring or repairing, these kind of charges, labor charges, these kind of charges which are additional, they are known as the overhead charges, the overhead expenses or overhead charges. These are what? These are the extra charges that is also added to the purchase price in order to calculate the total cost price. So the original cost price plus the overhead expenses give you the total cost price. So whenever you are selling an item, you will check the total cost price and the selling price, and then you will calculate your profit or loss that you are having on your transaction. Alright, so what is it? That is, whenever we are purchasing an article or having a transaction, if we see that along with the purchase price, if there is something on transportation, something on labor charges, something on delivery charges, so these charges are also added to the purchase price. That is the purchase price, I can say that as the original cost price. So to the original cost price of the article, you have to add on these charges which are called the overhead expenses or the overhead charges. Then what is obtained is your total cost price, means that is the total amount you are spending on purchasing the item. This becomes the total cost price. Now based on this cost price that you have got, the total cost price, you calculate the profit or the loss that you have on selling the article. Alright. Now, so we'll just recap all the formulae that we have learned today. That is, first is your profit. For profit, you will first have to check whether your selling price is more than the cost price. If selling price is more than the cost price, then you have a profit, and that is equal to your SP minus CP. When you have your SP lesser than your CP, there is a loss. And how do you calculate that? Loss is equal to CP minus SP. Next, we have the profit percentage. How do we calculate that? Profit by CP into 100. Loss percentage, loss by CP into 100 percentage. When CP is when CP is given to you, SP will be 1 plus R by 100 of CP when R percent is profit. When your R percent is profit, and SP will be equal to 1 minus R by 100 of CP when there is R percent is the loss. So when there is a profit of R percentage, then your SP is 1 plus R by 100 of CP. When there is a R percentage loss, your SP is 1 minus R by 100 of CP. So remember, again I am repeating, if there is a profit, it's a plus sign. If there is a loss, there is a minus sign. Next, your total cost price will be original cost price plus the overhead expenses. Okay, and what are the overhead expenses? Overhead expenses means it can be your transportation charges, or it can be the labor charges, repair, etc. So these can be the overheads can be these. So whenever you have overheads, you have to calculate the total cost price. That is, the original cost price means the price at which you are purchasing the article or the item, plus the overheads that you are spending in order to buy the article, and then the sum of these two will give you the total cost price. So once you get the total cost price, after that you can find out the loss or the profit. Also, seventh, remember, whenever you are calculating the loss and profit, please make sure you have the cost price and selling price for equal number of objects. If you have the cost price of n articles, make sure you find out the selling price of n articles. Directly, if it is not mentioned in the question, the selling price of a different number of articles or the cost price of different number of articles are mentioned, then you have to bring them down to a common number of articles in order to calculate the cost price and the selling price. So I am repeating it once again, that is, in order to calculate your loss or profit, please make sure the SP and the CP are given of the same number of or equal number of articles. Only then we can calculate the profit percentage, loss or loss percentage. So all the formulae we have written on the board. Please go through all these that I have taught today, so that the introduction or the basic concept lying behind the topic profit and loss is clear to you. Next, we will be coming up with some sums based on these these formula which you have learned today. Hope you will see the video properly from the very beginning to the very end, so that your concept based on profit and loss will be cleared. So meet you again in my next video. Thank you.